Bombshell news out of Washington, D.C. The oldest, largest, and most powerful non-governmental organization on Earth just came out against Trump's immigration policy. The Committee on Immigration for the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops just opposed Trump's policy. I'm going to show the chair of the committee discussing their recent statement, but first it has to be pointed out that this is a monumental criticism, not least because it occurs only days after the Episcopal Bishop of Washington, D.C. humiliated Trump by asking him to show mercy to the people that he is terrifying with his policies. That's all she did, ask him to show mercy, and it was earth-shattering. Right-wing Christians have been in turmoil and rage ever since because they know Trump was humiliated. But the only reason Trump was humiliated is because mercy is beyond the capability of Orange Mussolini, and everyone knows it. Likewise, most people know that mercy is one of the fundamental tenets of Christianity. So by indirectly exposing Trump's lack of mercy, Bishop Marianne Budde exposed Trump as a complete and utter fraud. And the Committee on Immigration for the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops basically did the same thing, creating a statement that reads, "We urge President Trump to pivot from these enforcement-only policies to just and merciful solutions, working in good faith with members of Congress to achieve meaningful, bipartisan immigration reform." You know, like the kind of bipartisan reform that was on its way to passing before Trump nuked it, so he would have an issue to run on. But that now makes two major Christian churches being critical of Trump and his policies, and that is going to eat away at his credibility. I'm going to show a series of clips, or more accurately, provide translation for non-Catholics of Catholic hierarchy bureaucraties for a series of statements made in an interview with CBS. So stick around for the whole ride because the ending will shock you. And it's not like the beginning got off to a slow start. Watch this.
Is the Catholic Church in the United States taking a formal position on President Trump's immigration policies in recent days?
We are. We think we have to speak to many of these policies, which we see as going against some of the basic tenets of our faith, frankly. The fundamental right of every human person that need to be respected, no matter their origin, no matter their situation.
Translation: Trump's immigration policies are completely against the teaching of the church. Full stop. No questions.
What is the strategy for the church in the United States, if any, in terms of dealing with this administration beyond the immigration issues this week? Do you have a big picture 4-year approach to how you're going to handle this moment?
Well, I think all of us are in the church and without are looking to see what shape this administration takes and what positions they actually land on. I don't think any of us knows exactly, but things have come into a clearer light in regard to the immigration questions right now, and so we're responding to those.
Translation: Oh, holy cow, we just assumed he was blustering on the campaign. No, comes to find out he wasn't kidding about these ridiculous immigration policies. He caught us with our pants down, and now we have to do something about it, because we have always been opposed to this jingoistic anti-immigration ideology.
Is the Vatican paying close attention to what's happening here in the U.S. and Pope Francis? Are they keeping tabs on this through the conference? And do you expect Catholic leaders, including the Pope, to meet with President Trump at some point this year?
Well, I can't say what Pope Francis's plans might be, but he certainly is paying attention, and he has spoken to some of the concerns based on what the now president said during his campaign. He expressed a great deal of concern about some of the proposals.
Translation: Dude, I'm a bishop in El Paso. They don't run the Pope's schedule by me. But I can tell you, if given the chance, Pope Francis would smack him up.
Bishop, you are in El Paso, Texas, near the U.S.-Mexican border. What's your own personal experience with migrants and dealing with migrant issues?
Well, our church has actually received many immigrants after they were processed by the Border Patrol and in their journey on to other locations. So we've had the chance to interact with thousands of people who had passed through. I can say, for instance, in the shelter that was run by our diocese, that in years of receiving people, we had not one violent incident in that shelter in all of those years. In fact, we saw a great deal of faith. We saw a great deal of goodness. They were all ready to help us in the shelter and do whatever they could with a great deal of gratitude for the assistance we gave.
Translation: unlike Ted Cruz and some other posers, the Catholic Church in El Paso and in Texas actually take care of immigrants. And P.S., these people are kind and good people. They're also Catholic, which some of you right-wing Catholics may want to keep in mind.
And just real quick, one final question. Cardinal Dolan, many Americans saw, the Archbishop of New York, gave an invocation, spoke at President Trump's inaugural. Where does he stand versus where the U.S. conference stands on this issue?
Oh, if you go back to the last several months and look at his statements, you'll find no stronger spokesperson for the dignity and rights of immigrants than Cardinal Dolan.
Okay, now on this one, first let me translate the question. What he's really asking is, hey, what about all these right-wing bishops like Dolan? Are they going to pull the rug out from under you and find a way to support Trump and his mass deportation policies? Now the translation of the answer. Nah, dude, not even Dolan can go against church teaching on immigration. And the importance of that last question can be found in the blowback coming Bishop Marianne Buddy's way after embarrassing Trump. She is now being vilified by right-wing media who are finding no shortage of right-wing pastors to say what she said was wrong and to label her as a left-winger. The same cannot be said of the USCCB. Not only are they a large organization representing a large Republican voter base, but they cannot be written off as left-wing. And you can't expect rogue bishops to undermine the committee. Let's see Trump rage post against them. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.